Yeah, hello. I hope you can see the screen.
Yeah, hello.
All right. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
if you look at the graphical analysis that we did, whenever we have a negative production externality, the social marginal cost will lie above the private marginal cost. Okay, so we'll have a higher social marginal cost than the private marginal cost. But then if we have a positive production externality, we rather have a lower social marginal cost as compared to the private.
Yeah, you feel like at the class, that's what I don't want to.
Please, can you mute yourself? All right. Then for consumption externality, if it's negative, then the social marginal benefit, okay, will be lower than the private marginal benefit because of the marginal damage. But then if it's positive, then social marginal benefit will be higher than private marginal benefit. But whenever you have a question, okay, first ask yourself, is the externality a production externality or a consumption externality before you know where and what you have to push? Is it positive or negative so that you know the direction of push? Are you shifting the curve up or down? Okay. So these are the two things that you have to know. Is it production or consumption? And then what is going to be the direction of change? Is it moving up or is moving down? So those are what you have to check. All right. Now we have to look at how to solve negative externalities. Okay. I mean, for positive externalities, why would we waste so much time to solve them? No, we want to solve externalities. Let's just concentrate on the negative ones. Okay. Now, when we say we want to find solutions to externalities, what it means is that we want to internalize the externality. Okay, and it can either be done through the private sector or the government can also take actions just to make sure that the externalities are internalized. Okay, so we'll look at some of the ways that the private sector can try to internalize externalities and what the government can also do to internalize it. Okay, for the private one, before we look at the cost theorem, I mean, private individuals, assuming you have two firms, the process of one firm's production is negatively affecting another firm. An example is there's a mining firm and then there's a fisherman in the same area. The water body that the miner is polluting is what the fisherman also fishes for. So you see that there's a negative externality there. So when you have such a negative externality, they can use merging. Okay, when they're able to merge the two firms, okay, then they will have to cater for whatever cost that they are causing each other. Now, we are saying that when someone is causing, like this water body example, the person is causing the negative externality because there's no property right on the river. And the person is paying a price of 0 for the wood. Whenever you pay a price of 0 for an economic resource that has alternative uses, it is inefficient. Okay, when something has alternative uses, the price cannot be 0. But if you cause a negative externality, you are taking that and if you are a mining firm, the water body is an input to your production process. When you are buying and when you are buying an input, you have to pay. Don't pay a 0 price, but you are paying a 0 price because the thing is not yours. It is not affecting you. It's only affecting the fisherman. What if now the fishing company is also yours? Then you think twice. Okay, you have to reduce the amount of pollutant that you put into the water body so that you can increase your fishing output. So that is one way that the private sector on its own can try to internalize the externality. We can also use social conventions, moral suasion. if you take this roommate smoking example, what if the parents train this roommate at home that morally you are not supposed to use smoke at all? And even if you have to smoke, you don't have to do it where, don't do it in a crowd. You see, if they are able to reach the person's heart this way, you see that the person wouldn't do that and there wouldn't be any negative externality. Okay, so these are some of the ways, but let's look at the cause theory. Okay, this is someone's theory about how as negative externalities can be internalized by the private sector. Now, the first one is saying that we should have well-defined property rights. Okay, so assuming that it is possible for us to have defined property rights, and then we don't have any cost in bargaining, then the parties that are involved in this production process and then those who are being affected through negotiations can come together and then internalize this externality. Okay, we have a water body and then people are destroying it. There are people who are destroying it and then those who are being affected by whatever it is the first party is doing. If they can come together and assign property rights to the water body, then we should be able to internalize that externality. But then the people will have to come together and negotiate. And that negotiation shouldn't come at any cost at all. It should be costless. Because if we have to come and sit down and then there's a cost we have to pay again, we are just adding up to the social cost of the production process. So the theory is saying that if it's possible for us to have property rights and then there is no cost in negotiation, then the parties can come together. Those who are causing it and then those who are being affected by it. And then they come together, they think about it, and then they'll be able to produce the socially optimal market quantity. As soon as they're able to produce that quantity, it means they've been able to internalize the negative externality. But this is a very strict assumption. The property rights should be able to be defined, and also there shouldn't be any cost involved in the negotiations. And then two, the thing is that he believes that when we are internalizing an externality, all we are to be concerned about is about assigning the property rights. It doesn't matter who you give the rights to, whether the person causing it or the person being affected by it. If the water body is not for anyone and the miner is polluting it, as soon as you give the property right of the water body to the miner, he will stop whatever it is he's doing, or at least he will reduce the damage that it does to the water, because now the thing is for him, and if something is for you, you try to protect it. You don't try to abuse it. Okay, so that is the cause theory. Okay, now based on the second part, okay, it doesn't matter who you assign the property rights to. Now, if you assign it to the individuals, okay, the people that are being affected by whatever pollution the firm is causing, they because now they have the right, the economic right to own the water body, they will charge the firm for putting the waste materials into the water body. If you don't put it there, you won't get any way to do so. And the thing is mine. So before you put it there, I will charge you. And before the externality can be internalized, they need to charge the firm a price that is exactly equal to the marginal damage that the pollution is causing. If you don't do that, it means there will still be some externalities somewhere that wouldn't be catered for by the market. Now, if the firm is going to pay for the water body, it's going to reflect in the pricing policy, and that will cause them to produce the optimal quantity. Okay. And then if you give it to the firm owner as well, assuming that we would rather have individuals that are polluting the water that the firm is using. Okay, and now you give the property right to the firm. then the firm can also charge the individuals to pay for the